Now, let's kick back and listen to some Plazaphonic.
We lost that bull that year. Took him up to High Valley to graze for the summer. You know, we have a high valley and a low valley. High valley is mountainous, covered with trees. You know, when there's no snow, we let the fields down below by the farm recuperate during the summer. So we can, you know, we can grow our hay and mow the alfalfa and shit like that. Well, we took him up to High Valley for the summer. We drove him up there cattle drive on horseback, which is something I'll never forget. And it was a 3-day journey, you know. But come wintertime, come fall, we had to go up and get the cows. And we had probably about 6 inches of snow at that point. And it was time to go get them. So we loaded up the horses and we trailered them on up there, and we rounded up all the cattle. Well, we could not find Red Eye. Couldn't find him. And, you know, we were up there for like 3 days, rounding up the cattle and looking for Red Eye, and we couldn't find him. Well, finally it was time to go. So we left and drove the cattle back down. When we got back down, Dave took me, and we went back up to High Valley, and we went looking for him. He was up there for about a day and a half before we found him. And he was stuck, wedged between two trees. Stuck bigger than shit. And I think he probably could have got out of it if he wasn't so stubborn that he wouldn't back up. He just kept pushing forward and forward and forward. The cool thing about it, though, is that Red Eye's dead in the middle of the trees. There's chunks taken out of him. Everything's been worrying at him. But around him, there was a circle of elk prints. And about 6 foot outside of that, there was a circle of wolf prints. Dave, being the helpless romantic that he is, explained it to us and said that what happened was the elk surrounded Red Eye and protected him until he died. And then once he was dead, the wolves had at him.
Hot dog, horny toad, iguana, jackal, jackass, kangaroo, killdeer, llama, lizard, lhasa apso, monkey, mongoose, nightingale, orangutan, panda, piranha, rat, rhinoceros, simian, tiger, titmouse, tarantula, teddy bear, terrapin, toad, ugly duckling, underdog, unicorn, venison, vole, vulture, wombat, wallaby, walleye, wapiti, warthog, water buffalo, werewolf, whale, whippet, yak, yeti, zebra.
With a Redfern loathes.
Christy met her in on Highway 10, Interstate 10. Jumped out of the back of the Jeep.
Always worry about that.
Well, it wasn't her fault. It was my fault. I bought this Jeep in '75, CJ5, and it's the first day I had it. Just got it. I'm driving it home. My buddies, they all took off. I got the dog in the back. Chris was a very well-behaved dog. The Jeep broke down on me, so I pulled off on the side of the highway. And I started walking back towards the exit, and I told her to stay. And I should have just left it that, because she'd have stayed. She'd have sat in that Jeep for a fucking week. You know, she was a very well-behaved dog. And I told her to stay, and she stayed and stayed and stayed. And me and Greg are walking back. Greg was riding with me. Me and Greg are walking back to the on-ramp. And we're probably about 300 yards away. And I look back, and Christy's just looking at me with those sad boxer eyes and a droopy mouth. And she just looks heartbroken, right? Which is how boxers look all the time. And I said, fuck, you can come with me. You know, so I called her. I said, Christy, come on. And I whistled. She jumped out of that Jeep, and she come running down the road. And she was all happy and prancing. And she got a little bit too close to the road. And it freaked me out. So I said, Christy, come here. And I went to grab for her, and she thought I was playing. And she was all ready to play. And poof, off she went right out in the middle of the street. Pack! Honda Civic took her out at 80 miles an hour. You know what?
And you were watching.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Greg was standing there as soon as she got hit, and he blew chunks right there. I mean, you know, she was a good dog. She'd been around my house for 4 years at that time. Everybody knew her. All my friends knew her. They all thought she was a great dog, you know. I screamed. I was like, no! I was devastated. Devastated.
Poor driver of the car.
Yeah.
No choice. No.
He had no option. And, you know, I feel bad for kicking his windows out. It wasn't his fault. You ever seen what a 130-pound dog will do to a Honda Civic at 80 mile an hour?
I don't imagine it bodes well for the Honda.
It was done. It was over. It was total. It pushed the whole front end and moved the engine back like a foot. So he pulls off the road about, I don't know, half a mile down the road, you know, when he finally got stopped. Chrissy was still alive after the car hit her. She was spinning around in the middle of the interstate, squealing. Her back broke. She was done. She was gashed open bad. But before I could get to her, semi got her, finished it off. I'd like to think she didn't suffer bad. So I went to pick my dog up, took her out in the middle of DeSoto National Forest and buried her. After we walked down to that car and kicked all the windows out of it. I was furious. I was crying. I mean, I was a grown man and I was in tears, carrying my dead dog because my Jeep was broke down. I carried her all the way back to the fucking on-ramp, called my girlfriend at the time. She came to pick me up. I left the Jeep there for 3 days. They was going to come tow it away that day if I didn't go pick it up. I was crushed. She was a very good dog.
Worked in or know how to even do so. The phrase, where the red fern loathes.
There you go. There it is.
Huh.
Yeah. That is the warm-up.
And here's a scene from next month's episode.
See, this is lesson learned. People like being recorded when they don't know they're being recorded.
Okay, well, you're being recorded now.
And by the way, it's illegal.
You know, I've been stewing on that, but since I said you're being recorded, it's not illegal anymore because you can just shut up, right? You don't have to sit there and just gab.
All that and more next month on LoatheCast.
The phone line is now open. That means you should call us if you got an opinion. Loathe us, love us. Call us. 1-800-749-0632. 1-800-749-0632. Enter the Loathe channel. 6387 pound. Enter the password 8675309 pound.
Hi, this is Pat calling from Caldwell, Idaho. What am I doing? I am going to pick up a package. I never really know what I'm picking up. I do, in this case, know that I am going to pick up a pet casket, and I hope it's empty.
Next month on LoatheCast, we'll feature trains, exciting stories and songs, and other things about trains, America's backbone.
Please visit us online at loathemegacorp.com. If you can't spell it, you can't visit.
This
has
been
a
Production.
Hot dogs, hamburgers. Hot dogs, hamburgers. Hot dogs, hamburgers.
Sit, Ubu. Sit. Good dog.